All right. Looks like we're all set. So we'll go ahead and jump in and get started. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position, or you can lie down, whichever is more comfortable. So you can sit on your knees, you can sit legs crossed, you can sit on a chair, or you can lie on your back, whatever's comfortable for you. We're going to start with some mindful breathing, and we'll be here for a little bit, so you just want to make sure that you're comfortable. You can, sorry, I'm waiting for my girls to settle in the. If you're sitting with your legs crossed, it's sometimes helpful to stick some blocks underneath to support your legs if that feels better. All right. So we're just going to take a moment. I would invite you to close your eyes if you'd like. You're welcome to keep your eyes open. Whether you're lying flat or sitting, I want you to make your spine as long as you can. So we're going to stay here and do some mindful breathing for a bit. Then we'll move into the yoga flow, and then we'll end with some shavasana, some rest, a brief body scan, and just some encouragement for the week before we go. So go ahead now and just turn your attention to your breath. You don't have to change it just yet, just notice it. Notice what your breath feels like in your body. You might notice if it's fast, or slow, long, or shallow. You might notice if you tend to breathe in and out through your nose or your mouth. And just for a few breaths, just notice your breath. But now I'd invite you, if it feels comfortable, to begin breathing in and out through your nose. You can begin to lengthen the breath a little bit. Full, deep inhales. Slow, deep, long exhales. And perhaps allowing just a brief pause at the end of the exhale before you begin to inhale again. The breath is always changing, never staying the same, always going from inhale to exhale. Just a brief moment of pause between each inhale and exhale. I invite you now, if you'd like, to rub your hands together, whether you're laying down or sitting up. Hear the sound that your hands make rubbing together. Feel the warmth that begins to build. And then if you'd like, you can gently place your hands over your eyes and continue moving the breath slowly in and out through your nostrils. Feeling the warmth or the coolness of your hands on your eyes. Maybe noticing a sense of calm in the dark. I would invite you to do that again if you'd like. Rub your hands together. Again, noticing the sound, noticing the feelings, the warmth or the coolness, friction. Continuing to move your breath in and out through your nose, keeping the spine long. And then if you like, you can place your hands over your eyes again. Allow your forehead to soften. Allow your jaw to relax. Release any tension in your neck. And just take a couple slow, deep breaths. I'm going to invite you to put your hands back on your knees and we'll begin to warm up our body a little bit. So we'll start with a side stretch. Go ahead and put your right hand on your side and then next to you at your side. Lift your left hand up, pull your fingertips up toward the ceiling while keeping your shoulders down and lean to the right, feeling a nice stretch through your left side. You're going to attempt through the whole practice to keep the breath flowing in and out through your nose. And then switch and go to the other side, creating length, and then stretching over to the left, keeping your shoulders down. And one more time to the right. And to the left. Coming back to neutral spine, we're going to begin to warm up the shoulders, making big circles back. And switch, roll forwards. Good. And then however feels good for your neck, you can turn it side to side. You tilt from left to right. Maybe do some gentle rolls, just whatever's feeling good to warm up your neck this morning. Nice. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into tabletop position. Grab a blanket. If you've got any sensation in your knees, feel free to put a blanket underneath your knees. You want to make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists, your hips are over your knees, about shoulder width apart. And we're going to move into some cat-cow stretches. So on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, pull your chest forward. And on an exhale, lift your belly button into your spine, tuck your tailbone, drop your head, release your shoulders. Inhaling to cow, and then exhaling to cat. So go ahead and do some of those just at the rhythm of your natural breathing. Inhaling to pull the chest forward, exhaling to round. Begin to wake up the spine. And go ahead and do one more in each direction. And then return to neutral spine. From here, you can stay here or we can move into a balancing table. So balancing table, we're going to bring the right arm up, parallel to the ground, your spine long like a table. And then if you'd like, you can extend your left foot straight back. Keep that left hip down, don't let it lift up. And if you're feeling secure there and you'd like to, you can float that left foot up overhead. A couple deep breaths here. And release. You can keep your blanket if you like. I'm going to move mine. And then we're going to lift the left arm up overhead, and you can stay here. You can put the foot straight back, or you can float it up overhead. Again, try to keep your left and right hips in alignment, not lifting or dropping that right hip. And take a couple slow breaths here. And drop, and now we're going to bring a little bit of movement into it and flow with the breath. So we're going to lift either just the right arm or both the right arm and the right leg, or right arm and left leg up on an inhale, and on an exhale, you can bring your knee in to your elbow or as far as feels comfortable, or you can bring your left knee into your left elbow, whichever works for you for today. So we're going to inhale, up, exhale, bring it in. Inhale, lift up, exhale, bring it in. Inhale, up, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, up, exhale, knee to elbow. And one more. Inhale, up, exhale, knee to elbow. Good. And we'll switch and do the other side. Floating the left arm up. And again, you can just do the elbow if you want, or you can add the leg, either putting it on the ground or floating up. Inhale, and exhale to bring it in. Inhale, up, exhale, in. Inhale, lift, exhale, in. Inhale, lift, exhale, in. Do a couple more at your own breath. Last one, and go back to tabletop. From here, we're going to move into a child's pose. So you might want to use props if you have them for these to support your forehead. So you're going to bring your knees as wide as the mat, bring your big toes together, hinge back in your hips, and walk your hands forward. Again, you can put something under your forehead to keep your spine nice and long if your forehead doesn't come all the way down to the mat. And walk your hands forward, keeping your shoulders rolled down. Don't bring them up towards your ears. See if you can feel some length through your lower back. See if you can walk your fingertips forward enough that your forearms come up off the mat, creating that nice long line of energy between your wrists and your hips. Let's do one more deep breath here. and come back up to tabletop. All right, from here, we're going to do Cobra. For prenatal, I'd like you to do, come up to your knees, and we're just going to do some baby camel stretches. But otherwise, you walk your hands forward. You can come up on your toes if you'd like, and then slowly lower all the way down to the mat. So on an inhale, whether you're on your knees or on your stomach, on an inhale, we're going to lift the chest forward, gently lifting the chin, and then exhale to lower. Inhale, lift, exhale to lower. If you're on your stomach, go ahead and turn your legs in a little bit so that your pinky toes are pressing against the mat. This helps protect your lower back. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, stretching that upper back. Exhale to lower. Again, if you're on the ground, make sure you're not putting any weight in your hands. And last one. And lower. Good. All right, we're going to move into our first downward facing dog. So we'll come through tabletop and tuck the toes, walk your hands forward. And then you're going to pull your hips up and back. Press through your hands. Feel your weight equally distributed between your hands and your feet. And then you can slowly pedal your legs, waking up your calves. We're going to do a little bit of a downward dog plank flow here in a second. For pregnancy, you want to make sure you do these planks on your knees. So I'll show one going through the knees first. Go ahead and move your legs towards straight. If they don't get straight, that's completely fine. You can keep them bent, especially if you have any sensation in your lower back. So on an inhale, we'll move forward into plank. Again, you can drop your knees if you'd like. And then on an exhale, we'll push back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, plank, shoulders over wrist. Exhaling to downward dog, pulling your hips up and back as far as you can. Inhale to plank. Exhale to dog. Go ahead and do a few of these at your own breathing. Inhaling to move forward, exhaling back into dog. Try to keep your breath flowing smoothly. And free to slow down or modify if your breath begins to get choppy. Let's go for 3 more here. And then hold downward dog for a moment. You turn your head, yes and no. And you can begin to walk your hands and your feet together. Feeling free to bring your legs as wide apart as you need to, and also to bend your legs as much as you need to. And we're going to move into a forward fold. You want to keep the weight moving forward so that it's more in your toes than your heels, but don't topple forward. If you'd like, you can interlace your hands behind your back, or you can keep them on the ground or on your legs. You can also put a block or a chair underneath you and rest your hands there. Take one more deep breath. Bend your legs and slowly come to stand. Great. All right, so if you've got blocks or stacks of books, Go ahead and grab those for this next exercise. We're going to go to a half split and low lunge. So I want you to start towards the front of your mat, feet about shoulder width apart, blocks on either side of your feet or stacks of books or pillows. You can also use 2 chairs if you want something a little higher up. So go ahead and stand with our feet shoulder width apart. Engage the muscles of your legs. So feel your calves engage, feel your thighs pull up towards your hips. Bring your belly toward your spine, release your tailbone to the ground, let your shoulders drop. Feel your core, your legs strong. And then while engaging all those muscles, see if you can relax the muscles of your face. You externally rotate your hands. You might close your eyes for a moment. See if you can engage all the muscles of your body while relaxing your face and keeping your breath flowing. And on your next inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, and bring your hands to your blocks or your books or whatever you have. And we're going to go ahead and step the right leg straight back, keeping your feet on railroad tracks, not making them a tightrope. If you'd like to put something under your knee, you can. And then go ahead and drop the right knee to the mat. And walk your blocks back a little bit. Pull your right hip forward so that you're not opening to the right. Feel your thighs point in toward one another. Lift your chest. Pull the top of your head up toward the ceiling. Press down through the top of your right foot and let your hips fall forward. You can stay here, or if you'd like, you can float your hands up overhead. Again, making sure you keep that right hip pulling forward so that it doesn't open, and pulling your thighs in toward one another. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. Walk the books or whatever you've got, or if you've got your hands on the ground, that's fine too. Hinge your hips back, straighten your left foot, pull your left toes up toward the ceiling. Again, trying to keep length through your spine and not rounding. So only fold as far forward as you can with a flat back. And pulling your chest forward. Take 2 more breaths. Then we're going to go ahead and flow a little bit with this. Adjusting your hands wherever you need to. We're going to come forward into low lunge on the inhale. And on an exhale, bring your hips back to half split. Inhaling, low lunge, exhaling to half split. And just move at a pace that is comfortable for your breath and your body this morning. And next time you're in low lunge, go ahead and tuck your right toe under, lift your right knee, and bring your feet back to the front of your mat. And on an inhale, raise your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. A full breath, and then we repeat on the other side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, hands to blocks. And this time we'll bring the left foot back. Again, making sure you're not creating a tightrope with your legs. Drop your left leg. Feel free to put a blanket underneath. Release the top of your foot. Make sure your knee is directly over your ankle. Pull that left hip forward so you're not opening to the left. Bring your shoulders back, chest up. Let your hips fall forward and pull your hips toward one another. If you'd like, you can float your hands up overhead, or you can leave them on the ground or on your blocks. Press down to the top of that left foot. Good. Then hinge back, straightening the right foot as much as you can, pulling your toes up toward the ceiling, keeping your back flat. Breathing in half split. And we'll go ahead and make a little bit of a flow to it. So inhaling, move forward, exhaling, back into half split. Inhaling, low lunge, exhaling to half split. Go ahead and keep moving at a pace that's comfortable for you. And one more. Good. Go ahead and tuck the left toe, lift the left knee, bring your feet together. Go ahead and bring your arms up, hands together at your heart. Very good. All right, you can go ahead and move the blocks out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and move into a few sun salutation A's. So I'm going to walk you through one slowly with some modifications, and then we'll move a little bit faster through them. So again, starting in mountain pose with your feet shoulder width apart. Feeling your core engaged, shoulders roll back, legs engage, chin or gaze straight forward, head to neutral spine. Inhale, we'll sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, we'll fold forward. On an inhale, we'll come up to a flat back, pulling the crown of the head forward to create as much length in the spine as possible. And on the exhale, we'll bring the feet back, your hands down to the mat. You can either come into plank. For pregnancy, we'll go ahead and come down to your knees. And again, for pregnancy, we're not going to go through a vinyasa. You'll go right up into downward dog. But if you'd like to move through a vinyasa, you can either do it on your knees or up with your toes. You'll bend your elbows, letting your elbows raise your side, come all the way down, releasing your toes. And for today, we'll just go into low cobra, lifting just the chest up, not putting any weight through your hands. And then we'll go through downward dog. So you can either move through tabletop to get to downward dog, or you can tuck your toes and push up into high plank, and then move back into downward facing dog. We'll take one full breath here. And then we'll step one foot and then the other forward, or you can take as many steps as you need to. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. So I'm going to go through 3 of these. Again, do any modifications that you need to for your body today. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Do what is good for you. So on an inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, hold forward. Inhale to flat back, exhale to come to plank, either on your knees or up. Either hold here, go through your vinyasa, or go into dog. And we'll take a full breath here. Step forward first with the other foot this time. Inhale, sweep your arms up, exhale, hands together. We'll do two more. Inhale, sweep up, exhale, pull forward, inhale, to flat back, exhale, down, try to move into dog or lower, go through the vinyasa. Take a full breath here. Walk your feet forward. And inhale. Sweep your arms up. Exhale. Hands together. Last one. Inhale. Sweep your arms up. Exhale. Fold. Inhale. Flat back. Exhale. Step back. You can either go into downward dog or flow through your vinyasa. Full breath here. Step forward. Inhale. Arms up. And exhale. Hands to heart. Very good. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into a couple balance poses now. I'm going to start in tree pose. So if you need some balance, you can be near a wall. You'll have something to support you. We're going to switch the weight into the right foot. Feel all the muscles of your right leg engage. Pull your shoulders down. Start with your hands on your hips. And we'll go ahead and turn the left foot out. You can keep your left toe down. You can bring it up to your calf, or you can pull it up. Rest it on your inner thigh. Just don't put it on your knee. Make sure that that right hip's not sticking out. Keep your right hip hugging in. Find a focal spot for your eyes. And pulling the crown of your head up. And you can keep your hands on your hips. You can bring them to prayer, or you can float them up overhead. If you come out of the pose, no big deal. You just try to get right back into it, or you can rest as you need to. Let's take 3 more breaths here. If your hands are up overhead, make sure your shoulders are relaxed, moving down your lower back. Feel the muscles of your right foot working to keep you stable. Bring your hands back to your hips if they were up. Release your foot. Switch the weight over to your left. Right foot, a quick roll. Engage all the muscles of your left leg. Turn your right foot out. Again, you can stay here. You can bring your foot to your calf, or you can lift your foot up to your inner thigh. Again, just not pressing it on to the knee. Find that focal spot to fix your gaze. Pull the crown of your head up to create even more length through your spine. Let your shoulders relax. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can bring them together at your chest, or you can float them up overhead. Keep your breath flowing. Notice that left foot working hard to keep you stable. You come out of it, no big deal. You wobble, no big deal. Your hands back down if they were up. Release your legs. Relax your left foot. We're going to do another balancing pose. If you're pregnant or you felt like that was enough of a challenge, I would encourage you to repeat tree again on both sides while we do this other one. If you would like to try something else, we're going to switch the weight back into the right foot. You're going to pull your knee up towards your chest. Hold on to it with your hands. Maybe let go for a moment and see if you can hold it there, or you can keep holding on to it. And then hold on to your knee with your right hand, wrapping that right hand around your left leg. And you can either stay here, or you can put your hand, your right hand, on the outside of your left foot, and you can work your leg towards straight. It's okay if it stays bent. Try to keep length of your spine. Don't round forward at all. That might mean your leg has to stay bent. That's completely fine. Again, feel your spine growing as long as you can and find that focal spot. And continue to breathe. Hold for one more breath. Good. Release and switch side. Either do tree on the other side, or go ahead and switch and pull your right leg up towards your chest. You can hug it in with your hands. And then maybe you can see if you can hold it there without your hands for just a breath. Then you can take your left hand, wrap it around your right knee. You can either stay right here, or if you'd like, you can wrap your left arm around the outside of your right leg and begin to move it towards straight. Again, keeping your spine growing long, not allowing your back to round forward, but keeping those shoulders back as much as you can. Finding that spot to fix your gaze. Keeping the breath flowing. Last breath on this pose. Good. And slowly release. Good. All right, we're going to go ahead and move now into a warrior two pose. So from warrior two, just spread the legs about as wide as your hands, or maybe shorten your stance a little bit. Turn your legs in, your toes in just a little bit at first. And then externally rotate the right foot. Bend your right knee so that your right knee is directly over your right heel. You can lengthen or shorten your stance as you need to. Make sure that your right heel is intersecting your left arch. Good. And keep your hips forward, your shoulders facing forward. Then you can go ahead and bring your arms straight out. Turn and look over your right fingertips. Make sure that right knee isn't trying to fall in. It is staying in line with your toes. Keep the right hip tucking under. And press your left thigh bone away from you, pulling away from you. So while you rotate the right hip under and pulling the left thigh out, create a nice strong base in your legs. Maybe sink an inch or so deeper. We'll add a little bit of a flow, inhaling to warrior two, exhaling to straight. Inhale and exhale. Next time you're in warrior two, we'll move into extended side angle. So if you've got a block, go ahead and grab one, set behind your right leg. For extended side angle, we'll reach toward the right, pulling your left hips back, drop your right hand to your block or the ground. Sweep the left arm up alongside your ear. Externally rotate your body so you're moving your chest up toward the ceiling. Press down through both heels. And breathe. Pull that right arch up just a little bit, pressing down through the full right foot. One more breath. Now press down through both heels to come back to warrior two and straighten the leg. Good. Now you can go ahead and shorten your stance just a little bit to move into triangle pose. Again, check the alignment of your feet. We're going to hinge now at the hips, pulling the left hips back, reaching the right arm forward. Drop the arm. Externally rotate your chest. You can put your hand on your hips, or you can lift your hand up overhead. Create a micro bend in your right leg so that you're not locking out that joint. Keep that right hip tucking under. Press through both legs. You can keep your gaze forward, or you can look up at your left hand. Keep the breath flowing. And press down through both heels. Come back up. And now we'll switch to go to the other side. So internally rotate the right foot. Externally rotate the left. Move the block, pillow, books, whatever you've got over to the other side. We'll go ahead and bend the left leg, moving into warrior two. Bring your arms straight out, creating a nice long line of energy between your fingertips. Tuck the left hip under, pull the right thigh back, press down through your heels. Allow the crown of your head to grow long. Maybe sink an inch deeper. Make sure your knee is in line with your toes and not falling in or out. Keep this right shoulder pulling back, not allowing it to come forward. Take a couple deep breaths. I'll add a little bit of a flow. Inhaling to bend, exhaling to straighten. Next time your leg is bent, keep it there and we'll move into extended side angle. So we'll reach the left, drop the left arm, bring the arm around, pull it up to the left, rotate your chest toward the ceiling, keep that left hip tucking under, we press that left leg against your left arm, press down through your heels, and keep your breath flowing. One last breath. Move back into warrior two and straighten the leg. Good. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Straighten your leg, maybe shorten your stance just a little bit. Micro bend in the left leg. Pull your hips to the back, hinging at the hips, reaching to the left, placing your hand on the block, or you can gently rest it on your leg. Don't put any pressure on it though if you don't have a block. Let your right arm float up overhead or put it on your hip. Keep that left hip tucking under. You can let your gaze float up or keep it straight or down, whatever feels good for your neck. Press down through the heels. Keep the breath flowing and see if you can relax your face. One more breath. Press down through your legs and stand up. Okay. We'll go ahead and move now into a wide-legged forward fold. So both toes pointing forwards, maybe internally rotating your legs just a little bit. If you want to put blocks or a chair in front of you, you're welcome to. Put your hands on your hips, pull your chest up, shoulders back, and leading with your chest. We'll come forward with a flat back as far as you can, and then you can round forward and release your hands to the ground or the blocks. Bring your weight forward into your toes. You can interlace your hands behind your back if you'd like to go a little bit deeper. You can shake your head, yes and no. And we'll move into a simple twist. So if you've got a block, you might put it underneath you to help with the twist. You're going to put your left hand flat on the ground right in front of you. And we're going to float the right arm up over the head, trying to keep your hips even, not letting that right hip or left hip sink or lower. Lift your shoulder, right shoulder up, look over to the right, and just do a gentle twist to the right. We'll switch, putting the right hand either on a block or on the ground or on a chair, and then float the left arm up overhead, opening your shoulders to the left. You can put your hand on your hip. That's better for your shoulder. And just feel a gentle twist to the left. Drop your hands, bend your legs, and go ahead and come to stand. And we're going to go ahead and move now down to the ground. Go ahead and so let's move into bound angle. So we're going to sit with our soles of our feet together. If you'd like, you're welcome to put blocks or pillows underneath your knees. You can bring your legs out in front of you, or you can pull them in close to your sitting bones, whatever's feeling good in your body today. And hold on to your ankles if you'd like to create nice length through your spine. Inhale, feel the top of your head grow longer, and exhale, just fold forward as far as is comfortable for you today. You can stay in a flat back, or if you'd like, you can roll forward. It's a good place to reconnect with your breath. Full deep inhales and exhales. Go ahead and sit back up. We're going to turn now and lay flat on our back. And bring your feet about shoulder width apart. Now straighten the right leg overhead, cross it over your left. You can put your hand on your right thigh to feel a deeper stretch in your right hip. And if you'd like to move even deeper, you can interlace your hands behind your left leg and pull the left leg in toward your chest as you press the right leg away from you. Let your lower back release. Don't let it lift up off the mat. And keep your shoulders down. And we'll switch sides. Straighten the left leg, cross it over. Again, you can stay here, or you can interlace your fingers, pull your right leg in, push your left knee away from you. Having your lower back release. Good. Straighten that left leg, put it back down. If you're pregnant, go ahead and bring your legs, your knees in towards your chest and just hold them there for a moment. If not, we'll do a quick, simple spinal twist. Moving your knees over to the right, keeping your left shoulder on the ground, letting your gaze over to the left, and put your hand on your right leg. Just take a couple deep breaths. We'll switch to the other side. This time keeping your right shoulder heavy. And we'll go ahead and move into our Shavasana for a few minutes of rest. So if you're pregnant, we encourage you to find a comfortable position on your left side. If not, you can lie flat on your back. You can bring your feet about as wide as your mat and let your knees fold in, or you can straighten your legs and let your arms extend to your side. Go ahead and take a moment now to find a pose that is comfortable for you. We're going to be here for about 5 minutes. So find a pose that you'll be able to completely relax in for about 5 minutes. As you find that comfortable position, if you'd like, you might try placing your right hand in the center of your chest, where you can feel your heartbeat with your fingers. And then you might try putting your left hand on your belly. And as we begin to connect with our breathing, you'll be able to feel your stomach and your chest rise and fall. Or you can keep your hands out to the side, whichever feels better. And I'd like to encourage you to use these 5 minutes to connect with your breathing. You can keep the breath flowing in and out through your nose, or you can breathe in whatever way is comfortable for you. You can breathe slowly and deeply, or you can breathe more at your normal breath rate. And if you can, see if you can keep your attention focused on your breath. It might help to count your breaths. You might count an inhale, 1, exhale, 2, inhale, 3, exhale, 4, and just keep going all the way to 10. And when you get to 10, then start back over at 1. You might notice your mind begin to wander as you try to focus on the breath. And you have a couple options there. You can let your mind wander. That is completely fine. Or if you'd like to try to focus on your breath, you can just gently bring your awareness back to your breathing. Either choice is just fine for today. Take just a couple minutes now to connect with your breath. Before we come to the end of our practice today, I'll walk you through a brief body scan. Feel free to participate in the body scan or not, whichever is right for you. But we'll start by bringing awareness to your head, seeing if there's any place in your head that you're carrying tension. Relax your forehead and your jaw. Notice your neck and your shoulders. See if you're carrying any tension there. And as you continue to breathe, see if there is any place in your shoulders or your neck that you might be able to soften a little bit more. Move your awareness now to your arms, noticing if there's any place that you're clenching where you might be able to relax and let go. And if you can't let it go, maybe just notice it. And move your attention now to your core, your chest, your back, your hips. Breathe into your core, seeing if you can soften, letting the floor beneath you hold you. And then bring your awareness last to your legs and your feet, noticing any place you're carrying tension there, and inviting your body to let go of that tension. And take one more slow, deep breath. Full inhale. Nice, long exhale. And gently bring your awareness back to the room, wiggling your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, you can roll over onto your left side. Use the palms of your hands to support you and gently press up back into a comfortable seated position. I encourage you this week to find some space for some mindful breathing, even if it's just taking a couple minutes a day, maybe when you first wake up, right before you go to bed, or anytime you might feel some tension, just to close your eyes and see if you can connect to your breath for a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is a new endeavor of mine, so thank you for joining me for this adventure. I'm very much welcome any feedback that you might have. Thank you so much for joining me today.